So I'm here in Vancouver, Canada, and it is very cold, but it is looking like it's going to be a nice day. So we're going to go out about and go see some of the touristy stuff and some things that you can do in Vancouver. This will be my first time doing this. I've been to Vancouver, but I've never been long enough to like go see everything. So I'm going to do Stanley Park and go just see some touristy stuff. See the harbor, go to Gastown, which is like an old area. But anyway, we'll talk more about it later. Let me get dressed. Let's go. So first, I went to the ATM and got out $60. I did a lot of walking, but I also planned on catching a cab, so I wanted to make sure I had enough cash. Canadian money reminds me a lot of Australia's money. It's different colors, and it has Queen Elizabeth on it, as well as a clear plastic area. Not too far from the hotel was Harbour Green Park. It leads you to the harbor, and you can walk along the harbor. There's a walkway all the way to Stanley Park and some of the other tourist sites. So there's the sign. As you enter the park, there's this beautiful design. And as I go down the steps and enter the park more, you'll be able to see it. There it is. The artwork was a gift from China. Here's the sign explaining the art. And as you go further into the park, and down the steps, you can get a beautiful view of the harbor and the city. Look at that view. It was just totally amazing. It was so cold outside though, but the air was so fresh and clean. For a big city, Vancouver really has a green feel. So as you keep straight and you walk, you run into Coal Harbour. And if you walk down, you'll see there's people out walking, their dogs running, skating, riding their bikes, families. There's all the boats that are in the harbor. You can pay to go on boat rides. There was even a boat that I seen where you could pay to go whale watching, which would be a cool thing to do. There's more of the boats in the harbor. Here are some of the shops. There's also restaurants. Now I walked this harbor and this way all the way to Stanley Park. You can also rent a bike if you're not big on walking. There's more of the harbor, view of the harbor. And the park is just beautiful, like I said before. And there's the sign to let you know that you're going to start entering Stanley Park. And there you see it. There's Stanley Park. Beautiful green trees. And if you keep walking along the path, pass through Stanley Park, you can see cars driving as well. You get to an area where there's the totem poles. So we're entering the area now. That's the gift shop. So the totem poles are the most visited tourist attraction in the state of British Columbia. Here we're going in for a little bit of a closer look. There's 9 totem poles in total. And they were created by the Salish and the Squamish people. And that was the sign earlier that I showed where you can read what each animal and what each thing represents on the totem pole. They were really beautiful. Unfortunately, there's a wire and you can't cross it to go in and get closer. And then on the other side is the information up about the Squamish people, the totem poles, and more information on Stanley Park. As you can see that map, there's just Stanley Park. There's just a huge circle of the harbor. And if you go to your left and you go out, as you can see, you can go out and see an even more beautiful view of the harbor, a beautiful view of the mountains. So let's go in and get a closer look. There's some information about it, the mountains, and then that is the beautiful Lionsgate Bridge. It's a long, big green bridge. And then walking along the pathway again, you can see more artwork. It's just so peaceful and serene out there, and green, you guys. And if you keep walking, you'll end up hitting the Vancouver Aquarium, and that was just a mailbox. So when you walk up, the first thing you see is this beautiful statue in the parking lot. And I didn't go inside the Vancouver Aquarium, but I'm sure it is beautiful. I wanted to see more of the city, so I decided not to go in. And if you keep straight, right outside of the aquarium to the right is this beautiful pond. And it had ducks floating in it. So I just wanted to get a picture of that and once again really show you how green the city is to be such a huge city. So I walked back to my hotel, and from my hotel I caught a cab down to Gastown. And Gastown has cobbled walkways and is a major tourist area in Vancouver. It's a part of downtown, and there's restaurants, there's shops, touristy shops where you can buy souvenirs for Vancouver. So here I am just walking down the street and trying to kind of show. You can see the cobbled sidewalks and street. And so there is Gastown, just parts of it. And so I was getting quite hungry from that walk and found this authentic Peruvian cuisine restaurant called Silvestre Deli and Bistro. And one part is a deli, and that's a deli. And then the other side you can sit down, and it's a restaurant, also one of the best restaurants in Vancouver. So I've never had Peruvian food. This is my first time, so I thought I'd give it a try. So here I am scouring over the menu, trying to figure out what it is that I want to eat. And I ended up ordering number 21, the lomo saltado de carne. So before they bring out your food, they bring you out, those are corn kernels that you can eat with your choice of 3 different sauces. I liked the orange one on the left the best. It was very hot and spicy. It was actually really good. And here comes the carne asada. What it is strips of fried steak sauteed with vinegar with red and green peppers over French fries with rice. I know it sounds strange, but you guys, it was really, really good. And I kept putting the orange sauce on my steak and rice, and that made it even better. But it was a carb overload for sure. So I went further into downtown and visited the food court and the shops at the waterfront. It's beautiful, as you can see, and then you get another great view of the harbor. I visited Granville Square, and you can also visit Granville Island. I didn't, but I hear it's a really nice touristy thing to do. I hear there's actors and just a lot of shops and other things to do. So earlier, when I was walking back to my hotel before I stopped at Gastown, I found this French macaroon shop called Sorete. So there's the macaroons. And since Canada has a strong French influence, I thought, what a great place to get a dessert. So my macaroons end up being my dessert. So here's the packaging and little French Euphoria. Je les adore. So that's supposed to be red velvet, but it tastes chocolate. That's pistachio. That's vanilla. Actually, I liked all of them except for the red velvet, but I think it was chocolate. It doesn't look very red now that I look back at it. But for the most part, it was good. I would definitely get it again for dessert. And so I kept walking into downtown, and I was able to see the convention center, which is what I'm looking at now. And right outside of the convention center is the Olympic Cauldron. And it was lit up during the Olympics. It's beautiful. There's also Tim Hortons in everywhere. Tim Hortons is a Canadian chain that would be equivalent to like McDonald's in the US. So everything at the airport in Canada is in French and English, and you also clear customs, US customs that is, right in the Canadian airport. I also thought that was really, really neat. You don't do that at any other airport. So I'm on my way back to the hotel now. As you can tell, I'm freezing. I'm not properly dressed, but Vancouver was a blast. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to keep God first and create your own opportunities, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There'll be more of these great videos.